right, today we are going to dive into the wonderful world of the Webex Desktop Application. So if you haven't heard already, it's been rebranded. It's no longer called Webex Teams, and it's no longer called the Webex Meetings Desktop Application. It's all been unified into one desktop application, and it's simply called Cisco WebEx. And so we will just jump right into what the features you know and love, where they're at today, and where you can find those. And we'll talk about a couple of new features at the end as well that I think you'll be really excited about. So if we hop into the application itself, we click on the little icon up here in the top left corner. All the things you would normally expect to find in a place like this, right? So I can see my availability, I can change my availability and how long I'll be available for. I can set my status, I can change and edit my profile and my icon if I'd like. People Insights. This, we won't get into exactly what People Insights is all about. We'll save that for another video, or you can read about it on your own. But this is where you would come within the application to change that public-facing information about yourself for People Insights. Preferences, if you wanted to change anything, all the little nuances about the application itself, maybe like notifications, how you're notified when messages come up, the appearance of the application, audio settings, video settings, this is where you'd come to do that. If you'd like to download the mobile application, you can snap a picture of this QR code here. It'll take you right to the website to get you the right application for your device. And of course, last thing here is you can sign out from the application itself. So if we come back up here, let's see, let's click out of this guy and come back up here. On the left-hand side, we see a number of icons, and we'll go through each one of them individually, talk about what each one of them do. So this top one is messaging. And so what we have here is a list of all the instances of messaging that I've participated in, right? Or that you've participated in if it's your application. And they may be space messages, right? So I'm messaging to, and this is a persistent messaging application, right? So it's not like a typical instant messenger like a Jabber per se, where your one-on-one chats. This is persistent messaging. So what you type stays forever, lives in perpetuity in a space or a room, right? That members of that room can then go back and reference and access. So these may be room or space messages. They could be one-to-one messages. They could be myself communicating with a bot, right? For instance, this Fabian bot, it keeps me updated with messages about new upcoming releases and upcoming features and newly released features on the WebEx platform. Up here on the top, we see that this is all of the messages that I've participated in. I can filter that out and just see the direct messages, so one-on-one messages with individuals, and just the spaces themselves. Over here on the right-hand side of this little pane, I've got additional filters that I can apply and flags that I can set and whatnot. Back over to the left, we click on the second icon, and that is Teams. So if you are not familiar with the concept of teams and spaces within WebEx, it's pretty simple, right? Once you get your mind wrapped around it. Say, for instance, you work at a hospital. Your team is simply just a group of individuals that you've pulled together that have a common interest, right? So say you work in a hospital and you want to create a team of all your doctors, right? So you've got a team called doctors, and within that doctor's team, you may have that broken out into different spaces. So you may have like doctor jokes, you may have neurology, you may have weird diseases. And of those spaces, the members of that team or outside members could actually be members of that space. So we will, it'll start to make a little more sense here as we jump into the teams. If I wanted to create a new team, I would just click this little plus icon and can do it that way. For our purposes, we've already created an Ahead collab team. And so within that team, just like I said, we have spaces. Automatically created for you is a general space. Beyond that, you would create your own spaces within the team. Before we do that, let's jump over to the members and talk just a little bit about that. There's a couple of places where you can add members for collaboration purposes within this applications. One is right here, and this is at the team level. So there's a hierarchy here. If I add members to here for this team, these members will have visibility into all the spaces that are a part of that team. If I want people to have just a visibility into a subset of the spaces or just a particular space, we'll add them to that particular space and not here at the team level. So if we jump back over to spaces, of course, I said we have a general tab, which is created automatically by default for all the teams we create. If I click on the plus icon, I can create a new team. And say I want to create a demo, or not a new team rather, but a space. Say I want to create a demo space. Simply do that. Now I have my demo space, and within here, you can see in this middle pane that I have messages, people, content, schedule, and add. If I wanted to add people to this space, I could do that right here. I click on the people tab. And by email, I can add someone within my organization. They can be outside my organization. It doesn't matter. They can have a Webex account, or they might not have a Webex account. As long as they have a valid email, if they don't have a Webex account, it will ask them, hey, do you want to sign up? It's free, and they can collaborate with you with this application. So I will add another account that I have, just so we have a couple of people in this space. If I pop back over to messages, you can see that like a lot of other persistent messaging applications, we have a lot of the same features, right? So I can say, hello world. I can add a file, attach a file. I can take a screenshot if I wanted to. Boom, and I can add that to my space as just a GIF, a picture. I can add emojis. I can add GIFs, which are all the crazy kids are doing that nowadays. I can add links. So if I wanted to say www.cisco.com, right? So I can clickable link within my persistent chat. So I can also do @mentions, right? So if I want to mention a particular person, so they get notified, I can do that. If I pop over here to content, this is a quick way for me to just kind of sort through what's in my space. So I can click on the files tab, right? And I can see that these files have been shared within the space and kind of cut through all the chitter chatter that may be on that board, right? If I come over to links, right, I see that www.cisco.com, that link shows up here, right? So if I'm searching for a link, it makes it a little more convenient to find those sorts of things. And then whiteboards. So I can actually digitally whiteboard with other members of this space, just as if I were standing right next to them in a conference room whiteboarding, right? So I can click on New Whiteboard, and I can draw a little something, post that to the space. I can post that as a snapshot if I'd like. So that will actually post a snapshot to the space itself. Or I can just close this out and it will upload that as an active whiteboard. And if I were to, say, jump on with my mobile application, I'm doing that now as we speak. I'll pop open this whiteboard and you'll see that I am actually drawing and updating this from my mobile device. You can't actually see me doing it on my mobile device, but trust me, it's working. You can play around with this and you can go back and forth, and it dynamically updates on the fly, live and in real time. And it's a very convenient way to whiteboard as if you were standing side by side within the room. Close that out and we'll finish out the space features here. So if we click on the schedule tab, this is a very convenient way for you to schedule a meeting within that space for the members of that space. click on this. It's linked to your Outlook or your email client, and will generate a meeting invite for this particular space. Lastly, for whatever reason, if I wanted to, say, add a website that's commonly used within this space, I could do that right here. It'll create a tab here at the top, so people can quickly jump over there and access that website. So say I wanted to create a tab called download, right? So www.webex.com/download. That should take me to the page where I can download this application. And so you can do that as many times as you'd like. Jump back over to the left side. We've got just a few more icons, but these are all pretty self-explanatory. We've got your contacts where you can create a customized contact list, and they may be people within your organization, outside of your organization, people that are even new to WebEx, right? We can create that list and sort and organize them here. The little phone icon, that is going to be your history of incoming and outgoing phone calls. I've got my visual voicemail, right? So I can sift very quickly through voicemails that have been left for me and discard the ones that I don't even want to listen to. And then the last icon is your schedule. And this is linked directly to your email client or your calendaring client. In my case, it is Microsoft Outlook 0365. And at the top here, so I can see everything that's on my calendar for today. And at the top, I can start a meeting, which launches instantly my personal room from WebEx. I can also join a meeting if I have a meeting ID. And I can schedule a meeting, which will again launch my calendaring client and allow me to schedule a meeting with my personal WebEx personal room credentials. If we come back over here to messaging, jump over to this active call. Last little couple of things I wanted to show you is so we are in an active call, and this is the portion of the application that would show you the video if you're on a video call. And in fact, I can share my video right now. If I had another person that was on this call, we would see them in the video screen, or if they were sharing any kind of content, just as in a typical WebEx meeting, right? It would show up right here. This is the active window for an active meeting. So if I come down here, a couple of little cool features that all the cool kids are playing with. If I come down here to video and hit that drop-down arrow, I can change the virtual background now. You can see that mine is blurred out. But you've got a number of other little backgrounds. You can make your own customizable background if you'd like. So you don't have to clean your house. You don't have to worry about your dogs or your parents or your kids running around in the background. You can blur that out or change that background to keep things private that should be private, right? So the last feature that I wanted to show you is a cool feature that they've introduced into the platform very, very quickly. They actually acquired a company several months ago called Babel Labs, and it's noise cancellation. And it's more relevant now than ever before with everyone working at home. We've got dogs and UPS drivers ringing the doorbells, kids running around and being homeschooled and screaming and yelling. What could be worse than all of that noise while you're trying to conduct a conference call, right? So with the acquisition of Babel Labs, they've integrated into the platform noise cancellation functionality. And I've been recording this entire meeting with that noise cancellation turned on. And you can see you should not be able to hear the twinkling paper. However, if I come over here and go to settings, turn that off, we should be able to illustrate and see quite a difference with the noise cancellation on and off. And so this takes care of a lot of things. Again, like the background noise, the barking dogs, the UPS drivers, but also the angry typers during a meeting. There's always somebody that's not muted and typing away and kind of disrupting the meeting. So things like that, any kind of background noise, it's very, very good at eliminating. I hope you found this useful, and if you'd like a further conversation about Cisco collaboration, WebEx, or the WebEx application, feel free to reach out directly to me, kprater@covaris.com.